From the makers of Green Book and Green Mile comes Dr. Green Thumb, a film about a drug dealer. I am not a drug dealer. I am a florist/botanist, damn it. A film about a botanist who creates a weed strand that cures diseases. Especially all the ones that are chronic. Starring Seth Rogen as his business partner.
It's something that I've obviously been passionate about my whole life, and to be able to actually own a weed company.
No, me and you own a weed business, motherfucker. And introducing upcoming Black British actor Sir Bridgerton Stroganoff as the botanist Dr. Delonte Green.
As a method actor, did you smoke weed for this role?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Dr. Green Thumb, 4/20/2022, in a theater near you. Welcome back to One Love with R1, episode 5, The Grass is Greener. Look, I've been partying all month, had my birthday, Easter, 420 Earth Day, so I've been in celebration mode. So let's start with some positive news from the place from which I was born.
Home rule. I will not yield, sir. The District of Columbia has spent 206 years yielding to people who would deny them the vote. I yield you no ground. Not during my time. You have had your say, and your say has been that you think that the people who live in your capital are not entitled to a vote in their house. Shame on you.
For 60 years, 50 states, but Congress is now one step closer to adding another.
D.C. statehood is an idea whose time has come.
The House passing a bill that would make Washington, District of Columbia, the state of Washington Douglas Commonwealth, honoring abolitionist Frederick Douglass. The mayor would become the new governor, and the 700,000 plus people living in D.C., who already pay the most federal taxes per capita, would get federal voting rights, including 2 new senators. That would almost certainly mean 2 more Democrats, given D.C.'s political leanings, with the GOP intensely opposed to statehood. Some Republicans argue D.C. is too small.
D.C. wouldn't even qualify as a singular congressional district.
It does have more people than Vermont or Wyoming.
D.C. residents are American citizens, so they need full representation in Congress. Not only does D.C. have a bigger population than Vermont and Wyoming, but it also has a similar population as Alaska and other states. Now look, I'm sure Alaska is a beautiful state, all right? But how do Alaskan residents have more power than D.C. residents in Congress, which is in the U.S. Capitol, which is located in Washington, D.C., when Alaska is down near in Russia? Man, if the Senate passes D.C. statehood, I'm taking the first flight from LAX back home so I can be on U Street partying like Glenn Close at the Oscars.
Come on, let's see it. Let me see you do the butt. Let's see it.
This April, New York, New Mexico, and Virginia all passed marijuana legislation, which is good. And welcome to the party. Now we have more than 1/3 of Americans live in the states where marijuana is legal, which is great. But why isn't it legal on a national level? Like, we already seen evidence that shows marijuana is a better treatment for certain medical conditions than things we buy over the counter or things even prescribed from our doctor. And then why aren't these cases of marijuana possession in the past being expunged when these states are legalizing marijuana? I feel like all these nonviolent cases need to be expunged because there's people right now trying to get jobs even during this pandemic, and they can't get them because they can't pass certain background tests because, oh, they had a dime bag back in college. Like, come on, man. The crazy thing is half of the living presidents in the United States have admitted to smoking weed. And the other half, I mean, come on. Jimmy Carter is a gardener and he be building like birdhouses and stuff. I'm sorry. That man 100 years old doing that, he seemed too chill for me to not be a stoner. Plus, his son was on the roof of the White House smoking weed with Willie Nelson during his administration. And then comes Trump. Like, come on. Don't Trump look like he always got the munchies? And every time he invited a championship team to the White House, what'd he do? Order fast food? Now that's some high-ass shit. And finally, Joe Biden. Like, come on, Joe. You telling me the way you tell them long-ass, drawn-out stories and then get lost in your own story that you ain't used to smoke weed back in the day when y'all called them jazz cigarettes? And plus, the Biden administration fired several aides because they admitted to past marijuana use, which is crazy because Joe Biden was a vice president for President Obama who admitted to marijuana use when he was younger. And his own VP, Kamala Harris, also admitted on Breakfast Club that Howard, she should get down during homecoming.
I am absolutely in favor of legalizing marijuana. We've got to do it.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
and
college,
I inhale. I did inhale.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. But yes.
I know you have to go. They say you have to go.
I just broke news.
I mean, was it in college? See, I like stuff like that. That's a real honest answer. Real. Was it a blunt or joint?
It was a joint.
Hey.
Man, I knew this topic was going to stress me out. That's why I took a THC gummy for my stress before we started filming. But I don't know, man. I think the joint was kind of weak because I don't really feel nothing. Whoa. Even though the Republicans lost the White House and both houses of Congress, that won't stop them from doing their part in ruining our country. So, for a quick roundup of conservative news, I would like to introduce our new segment, Hello from the Other Side. This past weekend, Olympic gold medalist and reality TV star Caitlyn Jenner announced that she was running for governor of California. Man, I said Caitlyn, not Bruce. Y'all trying to get me canceled? Thank you. Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor of California as a conservative. Wow. You gotta respect that. Caitlyn Jenner, a trans woman, is running for governor of California as a Republican? Man, that takes balls. I guess because Caitlyn Jenner once identified as an old rich white man, that she has the same politics, Because, yes, she agrees you should identify as who you want to identify, which is true. And she also believes you should be able to love who you want to love, which is true. But getting rid of tax breaks for the rich? Come on. This is America.
And I'm not going anywhere.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz defiant and doubling down in the face of allegations that he was involved in sex trafficking and that he had sex with a 17-year-old girl.
And I won't be extorted by a former DOJ officials and the crooks he is working with. The truth will prevail.
Headlining an event for a pro-Trump women's group.
I take the words of Margaret Thatcher to heart. If you want something said, get a man. If you want something done, hire a woman.
Gaetz speaking the same day the House Ethics Committee announced it had opened an investigation into his actions, not just on sex trafficking, but also over allegations he showed nude images on the House floor and misused campaign funds. The congressman's heavily pro-woman message comes after a Gaetz associate, Joel Greenberg, was arraigned on an array of charges this week, including sex trafficking of a minor, which drew the Fed's attention to Gaetz.
Of course, Matt Gaetz allegedly paid for sex workers and allegedly dated an underage girl. Look at him. The man looks like evil Jimmy Neutron on meth. The man looks like a more douchier Tom Brady, but with the body frame of a Pop Warner place kicker. Matt Gaetz looks like the rich, guilty white guy in every episode of Law & Order SVU.
As for forcing children to wear masks outside, that should be illegal. Your response when you see children wearing masks as they play should be no different from your response to seeing someone beat a kid in Walmart. Call the police immediately. Contact Child Protective Services. Keep calling until someone arrives. What you're looking at is abuse. It's child abuse, and you are morally obligated to attempt to prevent it. If it's your own children being abused, then act accordingly. Let's say your kid's school emailed you to announce that every day after lunch, your 6th grader was going to get punched in the face by a teacher. How would you respond to that? That's precisely how you should respond when they tell you that your kids have to wear masks on the soccer field.
Tucker Carlson is crazy. Like, are you telling me that people need to call protective services for children who are wearing masks? Like, where was all this outrage and sounding the alarm when it came to these mass shootings and gun reform? Because that's when you're silent. Or when it comes to these police shootings and we want police reform, then you're quiet. Or when it comes to evidence of us needing cleaner energy to save our environment, and it's hear no evil, see no evil. But let it be anything that questions conservative values in this country, all of a sudden, this man got a third eye and can see all the oppression. How can conservatives live in a country with non-gender potatoes and where they can't make racist statements on social media without consequence? The horror. This week, Joe Biden made his first speech in front of a joint session of Congress. Wow, a joint session just a week after 420? I see you, Joe. In this speech, he laid out a lot of his plans, especially for infrastructure. This bill introduces things like free community college, free early pre-K, building new roads and bridges, and even leave for parents of newborns. So let's check the conservative rebuttal from Black Republican Tim Scott.
Nowhere do we need common ground more desperately than in our discussions of race. I have experienced the pain of discrimination. I know what it feels like to be pulled over for no reason, to be followed around the store while I'm shopping. I've also experienced a different kind of intolerance. I get called Uncle Tom and the N-word by progressives, by liberals. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Wait. Did this man, Tim Scott, just talk about the prejudice that he's faced in America as a black man, and then a minute later say that America is not a racist country? Oh, you mean America, the same country that waged a genocide against the indigenous people of this land? Do you mean America, the same country that enslaved a whole race of people just because they had a different skin color? You mean America, the same country that in law put that black people were only 3/5 of a human being? You mean America, the same country that has not outlawed lynching even decades after Jim Crow? Nigga, please. Your rebuttal has more gaps than the top row of your teeth. All right? See, that's why you can't trust anybody with that kind of top row of teeth and gum combination when they smile. You know what I'm saying? There's no way they're going to give it to you straight. That's been our segment, Hello from the Other Side. And finally, we've all been there when our credit card or debit card gets declined, or we've at least seen someone had a card decline while in line at a store. But have you ever seen live someone white privilege get declined?
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. Verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. Verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the love and support. Make sure you maintain social distancing, wear a mask, stay safe, be blessed. One love.